The dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.
Welcome to the Dogs. In this edition we visit the kennels of Wimbledon trainer Paul Garland. There's a multitude of open races to watch, including the semi-finals of the East Anglian Derby from Yarmouth and also the semi-finals of the Tom Fruit St Leger from Coventry.
In an area famous for its fast cars is a kennel well known for its fast dogs. We're at the kennels of Wimbledon trainer Paul Garland, situated just down the road from Brands Hatch at Fulkham in Kent, which has been home for 12 years. But Paul is much experienced, with big race winners going back a good few years before.
Well, I got a lot of affection for the first dog, obviously Jack's Asleep, that won the Gold Crest. I had first and second in that final. A very fast dog called Major Hill was second. We've had some good dogs through the years. Zulu Dancer, Kill Spin the Tulip, Music Novel. We had a good run on the open race circuit with those sort of dogs before we got a decent contract. More recent years, I mean, Sumi Girl was good to us. Got to be good, won the Ladbroke Gold Jacket. Drummond Fox we won the Consolation of the Derby with. So we've been fortunate, yeah.
Success for Got to Be Good at Crayford ranks as Paul's biggest since moving to Kent. It's helped to establish his name and thus attract more owners, and the kennel's setup is expanding with plenty of money spent on it. It's proved a wise investment.
We rebuilt all the kennel blocks before we came in here, and we changed all the drainage and put all the exercise paddocks out. In the last 2 years we've built our own gallop at the back, and we've got 4 big puppy runs. Yeah, we just keep on trying to improve it year by year.
What's your capacity here?
Indoors it's 92 at the moment. We never run it full capacity. We've always got room for probably 8 or 10. 80, just over 18 at the moment. There's enough work, that's for sure.
So you've got a big setup here, but it's very much a family-run kennel.
Very much so. My partner Mim runs the kennel with me, and she looked after everything here in my absence when I was in Ireland, which was nearly a month. I'd be kidding myself to think I could run this big an organisation without her, but we get a lot of support from the family, and it's very much a family business.
Vancouver Sparky has been one of the stars for Garland in 2005. He was impressive in the heats of the Derby, but had no luck thereafter.
I was a little bit unlucky to be eliminated in the way that he was. Very fast dog, definitely needs inside. I took him over to Ireland just recently for the Irish Derby. He didn't settle great in the time I was with him, so we decided to leave him out there. He's with Tony Fahey, who I stayed with, and we've left him out there, and he'll definitely contest the Irish laurels. He'll probably come home after that.
Never Can Tell is currently flying the flag for the kennel over 6 bends, and is proving a real money spinner for her owners Ron and Rosemary Howe, especially at Walthamstow, her favourite track.
She's done nothing wrong at all since she was purchased. Ron Howe purchased her himself, and it was always the intention with her breeding to put her over the distance. We have talked about her eventually going 8 bends, but for the minute this year we'll keep her to 6. She loves Walthamstow. Suits her style of running. She's got good early for a staying bitch, and she seems to thrive on a race in there. So for the time being we should leave her there. Obviously the Grand Prix is the intention. Once that's concluded, be it successfully or otherwise, we'll talk as to what we do after that.
And it was a Grand Prix trial stakes that saw Never Can Tell bid to uphold her fine Walthamstow record on Thursday. Derby semi-finalist January Tiger headed the opposition.
And away they go, and racing out towards the first bend. Early pace from Never Can Tell. Here comes January Tiger with Astute Express in second and third. After these comes One Farlow Flow going round the second bend, and at the moment Never Can Tell leading here by 2 lengths over January Tiger, a clear second. Astute Express lying in third. Then comes One Farlow Flow and Fortino Spark. January Tiger didn't get a great run at the third bend, but comes up sides again down the far side final time. Never Can Tell though raises the game and raises the stakes here, leading by a length from 6. January Tiger, they're away from Astute Express. They come round the second last bend. It's Never Can Tell on the bunny here for Paul Garland. Never Can Tell will not be shrugged aside. Never Can Tell wins, going away from January Tiger.
She's obviously going to be, if not the favourite, one of the favourites for the competition. Do you think that's a warranted position for her?
Yeah, I think so. In view of her record at the track, I mean, she's done some very good times there. She runs the track great, and you know, I'm not saying it's going to be easy to win. It's a good competition. You're going to be running against the best dogs, but yeah, I think she's worthy of a place at the head of the betting. Yeah.
Can she handle any draw there?
I think she's 1 from 4. 5, 6 is obviously her best box, but yeah, unless we get a freak heat where we end up with an inside draw, that might pose a problem. But no, she's matured. She's a lot cleverer now than she was when she was younger, and I think the draw's not as important now as it might have been 6 months ago.
Another decent stayer trained by Garland is Kiara's Misty, a young bitch showing great promise, who was also in action on Thursday.
I think she'll stay. We did give her a novice stayers race at Walthamstow before we went to Hove, but because of her age, we decided to bring her back to 4 bends. We've not done as much with her as we might have done had she been older, but 6 bends is where her future lies. Yeah.
Kiara's Misty lined up from trap 4 in her Grand Prix trial stakes, up against Silbury Ruby in trap 3 and Jack Spark in trap 2, always a reliable open race benchmark.
Away they go, bright break here from 4. Kiara's Misty leads up early from 2. Jack Spark. After these comes 6 racing in third. Astute Star. These 3 are going away from 5. That's DROOPYS Sibin racing in about 4th place, going past the judges' box and setting the pace to the races for Kiara's Misty. She has a healthy looking lead at the moment. She's 3.5 lengths clear of 2. Jack Spark in second. After these a gap of 2 lengths back to 6. Astute Star. Heading down the far side towards the second last bend, the young and improving Kiara's Misty still out in front and still leading here by 3.5 lengths from Jack Spark, trying to close. So come round the final bend, getting a little bit war weary is Kiara's Misty. Jack Spark's closing, but Kiara's Misty last home from Jack Spark.
At the other end of the age scale is Creamery Tex, a St Ledger finalist in 2004, but who's been sidelined for much of the year with injury.
Early on in the year, he looked as though he was going to be a TV trophy dog. His last race for us before he sustained the injury, he actually beat Never Can Tell It Crayford in a gold jacket trial stakes. But he came home lame, unfortunately, and he was off for 4.5 months. He sustained an Achilles tendon injury, and it's been difficult to get him back, but I feel that we're over that problem, and he's not had a lot of racing, so he should be okay for another winter.
So will you be thinking about stepping up to 8 bends?
Yeah, we're going to run him in the Grand Prix first of all, and we'll look at 8 bends after that, yeah.
Moscow Sandy, who's been out in front for a long time, has to worry because Creamery Tex is now closing rapidly as the line comes up. Moscow Sandy holds on from the fast finishing Creamery Tex.
Now, you run a lot of your open race dogs at Walthamstow. What do you like about the place?
It's got an atmosphere. I think the racing there is great, and a lot of our dogs seem to take to it. It's been a very lucky track for me. We get a lot of good winners there, but it's probably as near to an Irish track as you're going to get. The owners like it as well, which obviously makes a big difference.
But it's at Wimbledon where Paul plies his trade on a graded basis and has done so since 1999. It's a venue which he says is among the best in the business.
I think that the changes made to the track have improved it a great deal, and I think the amount of racing we produce, you'd be failing probably to get a better running surface. The grading at Wimbledon's always been tight, always will be, but no, it's good. I've got no complaints about Wimbledon. I just feel that a lot of our dogs suit Walthamstow better than Wimbledon.
And turning tipster over the coming weeks, Paul suggests we can expect some good performances at Wimbledon from Fiora Field, a promising lightly raced son of DROOPYS Vieri. And Denwood Star, a recent open race winner at Walthamstow and top grade at Plough Lane, he's another one in the ownership of the Howe family of Never Can Tell fame. So with a classy lineup of graded and open race runners, plus a batch of pups by Top Savings, keeping everyone at the kennels on their toes, it's happy days at Garland Towers in 2005.
Notebooks at the ready, because after the break there'll be plenty of open race clues. Don't go away. Welcome back to part 2 of the Dogs, and it's action all the way. We begin at Hove for the final of the Anna Dirksen Sussex Puppy Trophy over 515 metres. Terry Dartnell's Kudosh was favourite. And away they go, and racing up towards the first bend. Trouble already for the favourite 3. Kudosh bumping in there to trap 4, Egmont Fortune. Meantime up front, the pace coming from PowerFast Rapid in 1. Leads round 5, Baron's Use. After these comes 3. Kudosh having to check again off the second bend. And also Hondo Dingle not getting a clear run at that point. So come down towards the second last turn. It's PowerFast Rapid. Challenged all the time by Baron's Use. Trying to get closer Kudosh as they come off the final bend. And now 1, PowerFast Rapid. It goes on and clears away to win from 5, Baron's Use in second. We're showing early pace and making all PowerFast Rapid, recording 29.94 for trainer Seamus Cahill and winning by 2 1/4 lengths from fellow Wimbledon raider Baron's Use. Well, chance to catch up on Shelbourne Nina now, who was made the 4 to 5 favourite for a bitches race on the undercard. She'd shown a recent upturn in fortune with 2 victories at Hove. They're off and running up towards the first bend in 6. Shelbourne Nina, she's out fast here from 2, racing in second. Molly Ruby turning the second bend in that position. There's trouble there. 3, DROOPYS Kidman didn't get a run. So they head down the far side, and Shelbourne Nina with a 4-length advantage over Molly Ruby, who in turn is well clear as they come down towards the second last bend. And it's still Shelbourne Nina, still well clear and building on the lead. Gone 5 lengths up as they enter the home straight. Out wide, but Shelbourne Nina looking so impressive here, winning by a good 7 lengths from Molly Ruby in second. Shelbourne Nina in great form, certainly back to her best with a stunning 29.51, and the Oaks at Wimbledon a definite target for Brian Clemenson's Flying Bitch. Peterborough staged the £1,000 final of the Puppy Cesarewitch over 605 metres on Saturday night. Roxanne Boy had 6 lengths in hand on the clock on the other finalists. And away they go, and racing up towards the first bend. Great start from 3, Lagar Slim leading up early, but 4, Roxanne Boy comes to join in by the first bend. Then comes 2, Blakefield Star. After these comes 1, Madam Tex towards the rear, Hondo Blue, and very wide is Maggie's Classic in 6. Going past the judges' box, circa to go, and 4, Roxanne Boy now goes on. The 1 to 4 favourite suddenly sweeps away. It's Roxanne Boy for Hayley Keithley, leading here by a good 5 lengths. Moving up into second place comes Hondo Blue. So they go around the second last bend and is beginning to close as they come around the final bend. Roxanne Boy all out. Here comes Hondo Blue. Hondo Blue gets up to win. What a surprise, Hondo Blue. 25 to 1 shot Hondo Blue leading on the line for local trainer John Ball. But what did connections of Roxanne Boy think of his defeat at Peterborough? Here's his assistant trainer Mark Keithley.
The situation was that he went down to Peterborough in our opinion as good as he'd gone there previously. The alarming factor was that I think most people on the track expected him to be a formality, especially when he hit the front going around the third bend and started to put daylight between himself and his rivals. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case. Approaching bend 5, you'd have to say that he appeared to tire, but in actual fact, what actually happened on receipt of him at the pickup, he was completely cramped in both gracilisuses, and his back was the size of 2 dogs, not just the size of his own back. And in due course of leaving the track, we've decided that we want to take a blood sample of him, and on the result of that, come Tuesday morning, we'll make our decision as to what we do with the dog itself.
Roxanne Boy was trying to emulate kennel companion Roxanne Girl, who won the Peterborough Puppy Cesarewitch last year. We asked Mark about her current condition.
She's very well. She's approaching her 8th week out of season. We've actually kept her on the go in the fields that we have up at Roxholme Grange. We've got the facilities to not just let her go up the gallop. We can let her off the lead and do her own thing in the fields. And you'd have to say at this moment in time we're delighted with the progress.
Over to Yarmouth now in the semi-finals of the East Anglian Derby. The first semi-final, the favourite in trap 4, Fear No One, impressive in the second round. He's up against 2 Lister trained runners, Blonde Boss and Belle Devotion.
And they're off and running for the first semi-final. Good break here for Fear No One in 4. Showing pace up now, Belle Devotion just half length behind as they go around the turn. And Belle Devotion was forced to check and lost a few lengths in running. Up the back there, Roswell Spaceman hit the rails at the first bend and is some way behind. Heading down the far side, Belle Devotion challenging again though around the outside of Fear No One. Then comes Greenlock Power straight in behind as they come off the final turn. And Belle Devotion's quickened on nicely here for Charlie Lister. It's Belle Devotion going right away from Fear No One in second place. In third, Greenlock Power.
Belle Devotion winning by 5 lengths in a good time, 27.99. The lineup for the second semi-final and the favourite Ningbo Jack running out of trap 4 for Charlie Lister. His kennel mate in trap 6, Little Flash, up against 2 of David Pruse's runners, Greenside, Honcho and 1, Born Again in 2.
And they're off and running for the second semi-final. A little bit of bother out the boxes there. Little Flash colliding with 5. Black Bower. Pace coming from Ningbo Jack and Born Again around the turn. Oh, Born Again all over the shop there. Ningbo Jack rode the bump well and leads now. Ningbo Jack out in front from giving chase. In second place comes Greenside Honcho. They're pulling away from 3. Kindred Rebel at the moment as they come down towards the second last bend. Ningbo Jack the leader. Straight in behind comes a Greenside Honcho. Kindred Rebels now beginning to pick up as well. It's a close finish. And in the end, Greenside Honcho just from Kindred Rebel and Ningbo Jack.
Greenside Honcho gets up to win the second semi-final from Kindred Rebel. Ningbo Jack qualifies for Charlie Lister in third. It gives the big man 2 in the final.
I thought that they run pretty well actually. I think Belle Devotion, he run a blinder like. He has had a couple of bad draws in there. He got trap 5 the time before and he's a railer, you know, so It the sort of form we expected of him, you know. And we do know he's a fast dog and he's a good dog. It's just that he's been a bit of an unlucky dog in some finals. He got to the final of the Scottish Derby and then he got to the final at Monmore, the Gold Cup, you know. So we know he can run. It's just a matter of him going a clear run like. Ningbo Jack, I don't think he's run the track as well as we maybe thought he would, but then again we run him there last year when we first had him and he didn't run the track well then. So, but he's got to the final. The only problem is he's been getting bad draws. I mean, he's got trap 6s, you know, and he had trap 6 the week before, so it's not a good draw for him. But then again, he does seem to come out in any box more or less, but it'd have been better drawn more towards, you know, trap 3 or so kind of thing, you know.
Here's the lineup for Thursday's final, £12,000 to the winner, of course. Charlie Lister's got a massive hand with Belle Devotion and Ningbo Jack. But what about Fear No One, running for Mark Wallace from the Coffin Box?
Trap 4, I don't think will be any problem to him at all. In fact, it might help him because if he comes out a bit more swifter, he would well tack across to the rails and he could actually help his cause by crowding the other runners and shooting off a bit further in front than he did on Saturday.
No, he's obviously blessed with early pace, but so are some of the other dogs in the final, notably Ningbo Jack.
Yes, I think Charlie will be the first one to admit the dog hasn't really fired like he did in some of the Derby heats, and I'm sure he's the man who could probably get him right on the night if there is anybody, and obviously it's a massive danger to us. It's a tremendous dog, it's got tremendous early, although to be fair, I think our dog in a clean run to the bend would beat Ningbo Jack to the bend.
So you're hopeful then of leading at the first?
Yes, I'm not just hopeful, very confident that our dog's going to put up a big showing on Thursday, and hopefully we can get a long enough lead to hold off all the strong runners, because yes, as much as our dog's staying on fine, there are stronger runners in the race.
Coventry in the Tom Fruit St Ledger first semi-final. The favourite here was Junior Mechanic for trainer John Mullins in trap 1 after being so impressive in the first round heats. Kaluna Striker next best at 6-4. They're off and running up towards the first bend. Great start from Black Pear in 4, showing mighty pace up to the bend ahead of 5, Saints Cool Cat. A junior mechanic was slowly away and in a little bit of bother there at the first bend. Kaluna Striker's moved up into second. So at the moment, Black Pear has a 2-length advantage over 3, Kaluna Striker. After these comes 1 on the inside, junior mechanic of 5, racing out back Saints Cool Cat, and some way behind at the moment is O'Leary Snowy as they head down the far side, and Black Pear with a 3-length advantage over kennel companion Kaluna Striker. They're 2.5 lengths clear from junior mechanic as they come around the second last bend, and it's Black Pear on the bunny and looking good at this point. Still 2 lengths to the good over 3, Kaluna Striker. Scrap on for third, but it doesn't matter because Black Pear's made most. Black Pear wins by 1.5 lengths from Kaluna Striker in second place. Difficult greyhound to dislodge once getting on the skin is Black Pear. 42.99 the winning time, and a 1-2 for Wayne Writing. On to the second semi-final. The favourite here was DROOPYS DESAILLY in trap 2, sent off at 5-2 in a competitive looking heat. Here comes the hare. They're away and running up towards the first bend, and 3 quick into stride here, Frisbee Figo, and that's going to lead him around the first bend. Gathering pace is Kilgrogan Bill around the outside, crowding and general bunching in behind. 6 not getting a clear run, Gunner Black. DROOPYS DESAILLY is trying to come through with an effort, and it's also hanging on to the coattails of the leaders is Kaliko Fred in 1. So go around the third bend, we've got a new leader, it's 5, Kilgrogan Bill goes on. DROOPYS DESAILLY off in chase, and these two have broken away from the others, heading down the far side, and at the moment it's Kilgrogan Bill with a length lead, but 2, DROOPYS DESAILLY unrelenting at the moment as they go into the second last bend, and DROOPYS DESAILLY is beginning to get up. DROOPYS DESAILLY goes on from Kilgrogan Bill up towards the line, powering away. DROOPYS DESAILLY from Kilgrogan Bill in second. Enables DROOPYS DESAILLY has often looked good over 6 bends, and proving the fact here in the second semi-final, beating Kilgrogan Bill in 43.22. And so on to the third semi-final, where Star of Droman and Shelbourne Star went to traps as joint favourites at 11-8. It was then 9-2 Minala Sam. Up go the lids and away they go, and 2 gets a cracking start, Star of Droman, but better pace from Minala Sam. Slowly out of the traps was Emerson Harrier, and as expected, Shelbourne Star in 3 is outpaced up towards the first bend. Going on then is Minala Sam, and leading here by a good 4 lengths now over 4, racing in second, Blonde Stelling. After these comes 2 on the inside, Star of Droman. Trying to make a little bit of ground on the leaders is BELTRA BILKO down the far side for the final time, and Minala Sam has the lead, but for how much longer? Blonde Stelling now throwing down the challenge. Here comes BELTRA BILKO as well. Shelbourne Star beginning to pick up ground from well off the pace. They come around the final bend, and at the moment it's Blonde Stelling. BELTRA BILKO hits the front. Shelbourne Star, crunches into 4 there. It's 6, BELTRA BILKO by a length from Shelbourne Star and Star of Droman. High excitement there at Coventry as BELTRA BILKO surprises all at 16-1 for Ernie Gaskin in 43.34. Here's a quick look at the lineup for the final. £10,000 to the winner, sponsored by local layer Tom Fruit. Well done to you, Tom. And it's going to be a cracking card as well. Black Pear in trap 2 might be hard to beat with a quick start.
Yarmouth takes centre stage on Thursday with the East Anglian Derby final. There's also the Manchester Puppy Cup heats at Bellevue, as well as the Northumberland Plate heats at Brough Park. On Friday there's open races at Henlow and Romford, while on Saturday it's the Still City Cup heats at Sheffield, plus a Star Racing Puppy Stakes final at Walthamstow. The highlight on Sunday is the Tom Fruits and Ledger final at Coventry, plus their cracking cards at Rye House and Sittingbourne. Check out all the information on thedogs.co.uk. Coming up on Saturday, it's the final of the Paddy Power Irish Derby from Shelbourne Park, and on Tuesday it's the William Hill Northumberland Plate final, both live on Sky Sports.
The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.